I just found out the first two parts of my videos were kind of shit and corrupted. My internet was acting up badly yesterday, so we're going to continue on until I get to where part 3 was, because part 3 looks pretty solid. Alright, so we're still in Albero. We're going to go through and meet our good old buddy Tirso here.
Time outside these walls passes by strangely. In sundowns, we need not contemplate. But if your penance happens to carry you under said skies, be so kind as to bring us some ingredients for our ointments. The will and the miracle shall show you which ones they are.
Alright, so he's going to be healing these people. You bring him stuff and he'll give you items in return. It's pretty simple fetch quests. And we have a dove skull. These are rosary beads. You can equip rosary beads in your rosary to improve the characteristics of the penitent one. Find additional knots to increase the number of beads you can equip. So go ahead and hit options. I like that it brings you to the last newest item you picked up. So, we have a dove skull. Skull of a bird drilled as a collet. Its apparent frailness slightly strengthens the penitent one's defenses. That morning, when the bonfires were lit and the convicts were raising their ghastly pleas to the indifferent inquisitors, a white dove came down from heavens and perched on the shoulder of a prisoner, where it stayed until it burned with him. So we can go ahead and equip this just for a little boost in defense. It's not really hugely noticeable, but it is something. We'll be able to get that guy much later. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and check out everything. Enjoy our nice little cutscene here. And the virtue of mea culpa hath ascended. Mea culpa is the name of your sword. You can visit mea culpa shrines to increase the power of your sword. You can also spend tears of atonement to unlock combat techniques. Visit additional shrines and increase mea culpa's strength to access more powerful techniques. So I only have 500, which means I can only buy one thing right now. I can choose between Sinful Wrath or Weight of Sin. Weight of Sin is your Helm Splitter, so I'm going to go ahead and get that first. And I'll have all these unlocked well before we get to the next shrine. It's a little shortcut we're going to unlock her later. So hey, secrets, check walls. Alright. Chalcedonium of Persian the Bandit. Feared by his countrymen, Persian attacked routes without distinction between rich or poor, and always alone. The day he dragged himself to Albero on the brink of death, no one took pity on him. Alright, this is going to be your little collectible haul. there. Go on to the desecrated cistern. And verify. Yes, this is where I don't need to be. Not yet, anyway. And I can't get there yet. So we'll continue on our intended path. Now I can very easily go down there to the left, but that's an area I'm going to go to later. I find it significantly harder than the area I'm about to go to, so... But I don't find it as hard as the mountain path. Which mountain path I don't really necessarily find hard, I just find it to be a lot of bullshit. Mainly I just find it bullshit because I'm bad at it. I'm bad at, like, just straight leap of faith platforming. Which I don't really know how you get good at it. The Phalanx of Brannon the Gravedigger. Brannon Joshua Mullins dug the graves of hundreds throughout his life, whether friend, family, or foe, but when the chaos arose, there was no one left to return the favor. Alright. I'm gonna show this off. There are some enemies you can't parry because they knock you too far away. I'll show off these guys. They just throw rocks. That's all they do. They're not super dangerous, but at the same time, they will be very annoying. Down there, we'll get to that guy in a sec. There we go. I'm gonna try and show off as many as the retributions as I can. But, I mean, you'll hear me say it a bunch of times. I'm not that good at it. Shit. Oh, secrets. He acquired the phalanx of Arthur the Sailor. He spent his whole life looking after a mysterious totem. This evidence would prove the existence of an impossible castle built under the sea, protected by its incessant waves. Alright, I had a much easier time with that than I did the first time I did it. And what we got? Uvula of Proclamation. When the uvula is equipped, you have a chance of earning Tears of Atonement when destroying an object. That's why I've been kind of just destroying background things off a habit, is because I'm used to having this on there. Decree from His Holiness Escribar. It shall be called the Anointed Legion, said His Holiness. Under the armor, their bodies shall be covered with bandages, anointed with oils, that I myself will bless. They will protect the Mother of Mothers, as I will protect them. So hell yeah, let's equip it. That gets us more points, which allows us to upgrade our abilities. And buy things, but we haven't had that yet. And here's a little, shortcut we'll get later. You can try and do this, but it won't go through the gate. And of course your spells and such are mapped to L2. Alright, so now we have a background item here, so we should see... Nope, it's not a guarantee. But it definitely means that now that you have that equipped, you want to go ahead and destroy them. The Capitate of Barak the Herald. Whether the executions or lashings, Barak was always there to proclaim them loudly, but his voice broke down gradually as, day by day, he had to announce the sentences of his entire family. Oh ho, a new challenger.
Sister of mine, a cipher told to you, someone is heading towards the forbidden gate. Someone who seeks the purge and excommunication of all that is sacred and rests. No, do not place your doubts on me.
Now, I've said it before in the previous recording, but I'll say it again. The Penitent one looks a lot like a reject, like Souls character. Like you'd see just some fucking weirdo you would meet like once or twice, and then maybe he'd turn on you. He'd like hollow out or what have you. This guy looks like a knockoff character from the action game Dante's Inferno, which was like Catholic God of War. Alright, I am rid of guilt. What this is if you died somewhere out in the world, you would leave your guilt fragment behind. If you didn't want to go get it back, you could come to the statue and he would fix you. Like he would get rid of the guilt fragment in the world, as well as every time you die, your fervor bar up top gets reduced a little bit, so you have less magic that you can use. And he'll fix that as well. I don't recommend using it just because you need to get used to traversing these levels. But sometimes it's just a pain in the ass to go get it back, you know? Like sometimes you just really don't want to. Ooh. At the maxilla of Tyrannus the cleric. With his broad smile and good manners, Nicodemus Tyrannus never denied anyone refuge in his church. The discovery of a pile of bones in his sacristy revealed his true intentions. Shit. Then you have this upward path up here if you just wanted to avoid fighting your character down. I don't really find it all that useful. The fights are not hard in this area. You take like a hit or two if you're crappy like me. And remember to always check your map, you know? You got your confessor over here, you got your pre-ado, which I've taken a little bit of damage, so I'll just get refilled. Oh, that was bad. You'll see in the next part, I do kind of stumble upon a glitch, which was only fixed by hitting the share button, which is super weird. And remember to always check your walls right there, especially at landings and things like that. Also important to note that if you hold X when you're descending, you'll slide down the ladder. And if you tap X, you'll jump off the ladder. Crap, this guy hurts. Alright, time to use that heal, because, yeah. It's really why you want to be using this parry button. Now those floating saint guys in the chairs, they can't be parried, at least not that I found. Cervical vertebra of Zyker the Brewmaster. Zyker the Brewmaster gave ignoble fame to his monastery by brewing the most famous beer in the kingdom. One night, the flames of a fire raised his legend to the heavens. Oh. A small bead of red wax. This should be a rosary bead. A tiny pebble of melted wax of a muted crimson. Prayers muttered in its presence slightly strengthen the vitality of the wearer. You can swap this out for the dove skull, and it basically does the same thing. You either get slightly more health or slightly more defense. The abbey ceased to be a quiet place. Cries of pain coming from every cell pierced the walls. The old friar knew he would be next, so he got up from his cot where he had been huddled and glanced at a few items that lay on his table, most of them mementos from his life before joining the order. He wanted to be kissed by the miracle while immersed in those gentle thoughts, triggering most memories were some small balls of wax, now covered in dust, that he used to enlarge by picking up wax from candles during processions. So I'll just keep the dove skull on, just keep the defense. I don't really find that one is particularly more useful than the other. You do get a larger ball of wax later, but you also get a larger health defense boost. So it's kind of pick your poison on it, really. Acquired. Oh, it's a fun one to read. Alright. Seguiria, to your eyes like stars. Brief hymn to the night skies overwhelms the penitent one with the fury of the righteous, increasing speed of his attacks for some time. I've used this one before. I don't particularly care for it, but it is useful, especially if you have enemies that get hit stunned and just take a lot of hits. This would be useful for that. There's a small girl with two star-like eyes who, when she looks at me, makes me stay by her side. They say she's a saint, came down from the sky. Do not cry, my child, or I'll get lost on the way. What is it that tolls? The bells in the distance? What is it that cries? On her face, eyes star-like. Glad I went and checked that side before continuing on. And always check above because you made shortcuts. Alright, so here's a good old lady. So I really like Candelaria with her design. She looks like the perfect mix of Melentia the Hag from Dark Souls 2 and the old witch woman from Robin Hood Men in Tights, played by Tracy Ullman. Love these characters. The Hag from Dark Souls 2 isn't too terribly much of a character, but like the way she has everything like toted on her back right here. Anyway, let's see what we got. Moss preserved in glass. A minute jar filled with moss with tiny white flowers that shimmer inside can grant some protection against toxins. I haven't encountered an enemy with toxins yet, so it's not really all that useful. Empty tarnished sphere. There's no trace of nacre left, but it retains just a tiny hint of bluish sheen. It creates fervor when destroying surrounding objects, so that gives you more magic. I haven't had a problem. I'm sitting on a full bar right now. I really don't need it. This, however...
Behold what I present to you. Though a small piece, its great should not be underestimated. Trust me, for I have the blood of kings on the palm of my hand.
Key to the Chamber of the Eldest Brother. That is the door you find after the first boss. There's an item in there. It's very useful. So, go ahead and buy it. It's super cheap for 400 tears. Like, there's no reason not to. And we'll go ahead and read the description of that. A forbidden key that was guarded by the eldest brother of the Brotherhood, but was eventually lost, thus forever sealing the chamber it opened. I hear his lament, the one who was believed mute from the beginning, since there were witnesses to the first miracle. The afflicted one who asked for the punishment, and had it granted to him. I hear his lament. Even if the Father is no longer with us, even if only his images, large and small, remain in all sacred places, I hear his lament. It is the miracle that makes me hear it. This is my punishment, as the eldest brother and guardian of this congregation, whose mystery is the silence of the Father. I hear his lament, and I don't want to hear it anymore. I will have yours cover his. That is my penance. So, at some point we will totally go back and open up that door. But, not really all that worried about it yet. We're not going back that direction for a while. Ah, shit. Shit. Shit, I got wombo comboed. And death. That's okay. The first death of, yeah, first death of the stream. Nice. What's up? Alright. I love that the first time you die, it's like, hey, by the by, you know you can dodge, right? Alright, just gonna go ahead and slide past all these enemies. Not really any yet, but... Shit. Wow, really shitting it up right here. Alright. Ooh. Alright, now that we've taken care of those two guys, we'll go ahead and take care of old Saint here. It's lame, I'm aware, but you can totally just sit there and trick them out. And you definitely don't want to get hit by that guy, because he fucking hurts. Secrets. Oh, shit. Alright, gonna go ahead and heal. And that's the last of our heals, really. I just ate shit on that one. Yep, gonna die on this. And didn't die. Empty bile vessel. Vessel made of crystal and gold, capable of holding the hallowed bile that emanates from morning fountains. "Get up and tell us what you witnessed," said the scribe, without averting his gaze from the paper. "I received an order for the exhumation of a penitent who had been buried about a year ago," answered the gravedigger. "He was well loved in Albero, and many parishioners approached his grave, but when I dug him up, we saw blood coming from a crack in his sarcophagus, blood red as wine. Those who were there rushed to open the lid of the coffin, and carried him on their shoulders, watching as blood gushed out from its side. Others ran to their houses, searching for buckets and bottles to keep all that blood that wouldn't stop flowing out." Alright. So the antibiliary flasks are basically your other Estus shards, but you're not going to get the ability to actually use that for a while. Alright.
From a place of blessings have I been entrusted with watching over you, penitent one. Thus it has been arranged. My name is Viridiana. I have been granted a gift with which I can assist you in carrying your burden if required. But only you can make that choice. Penitent one, silence. Will you require my assistance with your next task?
So always assent, like always take their help. They're basically going to be there to offer you some type of assistance. I think somebody does like damage. She will actually help by just arbitrarily healing you.
So
And if that's not a big enough hint, that means there's a boss coming up. Let's see if I can do it in one again. Alright, this is a little ground wave. Shit. A little double Rapukin. And she went ahead and gave me a little free heal there. Shit. And we'll go ahead and finish it. So I didn't do amazing with that, but of course you have the benefit of having your old pal heal you, so the risk is not really all that dangerous. Alright, and the enemy's body fades away, and you're good to go. So we're going to enjoy our little cutscene here, or not so much cutscene, but a nice little transition, which I will keep saying it every time. I love the aesthetic of this game. Like the colors, the gradients, the parallax scrolling that they'll use in these backgrounds, so freaking good.
In the name of the great ordeal and the sons of the miracle, when you humbled yourself before my most holy one, you have been granted presence of my golden visage, custodian of one of the three souls of the soul in penance. Our miracle has chosen me amongst all the fierce, just as it chose you, to walk on the sacred sea. May the gold in my visage melt and erase the attrition of your soul. Heart of guilt, return now from the dream.
And I required the holy wound of attrition. Now these are the visages that our old boy Deogracius was talking to us about. We have to get 3 of them in order to progress through the game. So let's check it out. Mark left by the golden visage that reveals the cleanliness of attrition in the soul of the penitent one. Santo Credo, verse 1. His holiness, because of his high penance, must endure suffering in his soul in 3 ways. Each of the ways is a motive, and each motive is a sore. Hence these 3 sores are the keys to his eternal pain, and must be guarded. Here's the boy.
Carried out the first humiliation of penance. You have met the visage of attrition. You have yet to prostrate before 2 last holy visages.
So it gives you your little thing of like, hey, guess what? That was the first of the 3 things I was talking about. And yeah, there's a shrine right there, but I'm going to go ahead and hit up the right side real quick and clean it out. And much like with Link in Legend of Zelda and his rolling, just always slide. Makes things go faster. ABS, always be sliding. Alright, here's why we wanted to clean that out. This is your warp. It will allow you to go back to Albero. Into an area we haven't actually been. We got the Bouquet of Time. This is going to be an item for our boy Tirso. Bunch of aromatic herbs common in the past amidst the cliffs of bronze borders. Today, however, their scarcity makes them increasingly valuable, especially for those who discern discern their healing abilities. It wasn't long before more and more people came to us, affected by that terrible and unknown suffering. Whole families, the old, the young, and even the newborn, we brothers of the congregation were unable to cope, and our care was not working, nor were our ointments, nor our constant prayers. We are lost, submerged in the darkness of uncertainty. And we're back at our statue, where we can buy more abilities. So I've got 27, so I can afford to buy these two. We'll go ahead and take that. Just another hit for our combo. And Sinful Wrath. And I'll show Sinful Wrath. There it is. You just hold it as long as you want. Get a nice little baseball swing. And something I bought earlier, just don't really use, is that. So while we're here, we'll go ahead and take care of some stuff. Oh wait, Tirso's right here. We'll give him the Bouquet of Time.
Merciful be, penitent one. With your contribution, the work of this brotherhood carries on.
And we got the linen cloth. We're going to go ahead and read that. A useless rag that seems to slightly vibrate at times, emitting an unintelligible buzz. The affliction sometimes leaves its mark on mundane-looking objects, unable to reveal the miracle under its mantle of corruption. Febrile as he was, he hardly noticed that someone had sat down next to him. A gentle hand patted a white cloth on his forehead. It was a fabric of the utmost softness, which allowed light through it as if it were a sheet of paper, and was soaking his feverish sweats and providing such relief that he could not help but fall asleep. When the cloth was soaked, the nun got up and handed it to the Mother Superior, adding, "With this, we will be able to have his confession." Now, there's not really much of a hint on anything, but I know what to do with it. You come to here, which before did not have a mark on it. And you come to this wonderful void. Could have just been solid white. They didn't have to have the reflection on the ground. They didn't have to have the castle in the background, but they did. Still nice little parallax scrolling.
This place is another room, penitent one. They believe in a saint worthy of devotions, and the only thing I granted to their prayers was the saltpeter that runs through the stark land and rises through our bodies. The punishment of the miracle for the false idol is to grant them false boldness. Do not try to obtain my name, for it is also covered in salt. Bring me anything that can be blessed, so you might crush this fate of mine and let me cross to the other side of this false dream.
So we'll offer him the linen cloth.
Behold the linen cloth that soaks the sweat of fevers, of thoughts, of dreamt sins. A tool that obtains secret and forbidden confessions, even from those who already departed to the other side of the dream. In the name of the High Wills, I bless this relic. Watch over it, for it is now pure and sacred.
Alright, so we got the Shroud of Dreamt Sins. Relics will change your perception of the world. Each relic possesses unique, different effects, and you can equip up to 3 of them at the same time. So, if we equip that, it's a yellowish fabric witness to febrile confessions, still quivers in the face of tortured souls, allowing one to listen to those who can no longer speak. And then if you read the lore of it, it's the same as what we read beforehand. What this actually does is every so often, and I'll show this off in a sec, you will find corpses on the ground that have these little wisps above them that weren't there before. So, we're now back in Obero. There happens to be one right on the other side of here. What are those little ones that seem to hide up in the ceilings amongst the ornaments and altars? When I call them, they do not appear to pay me any mind. They are covered in ribbons that give the impression of fluttering in an invisible, imperceptible, and constant wind. At times I hear them cry, and at times I hear them laugh. What are you, O creatures of divine grace? So you'll be able to hear the confessions of these bodies where normally you couldn't. I haven't found anything super useful in them yet, but it's a nice little thing that adds to the lore of the world. And since we're up here in Albero, we'll go ahead and open up the door of the eldest brother. I should go ahead. Whoa. I didn't find this last time. Acquired the clavicle of Dalhuisen, the school child. They searched for him for days until they had found Mark's remains in the woods. Since then, rumors tell of demons riding on the backs of flying goats coming from faraway lands. Oh. Can't do anything with that yet. Which I believe we're actually going to get the ability to handle that now. By all means, if you can manage to get the retribution every time, do it. Mainly because it offers you up a state of invulnerability while you're doing it. So it will give you an ability to basically avoid attacks while you're surrounded by enemies. So since we got the key to the eldest brother, we can go ahead and hit that up. And we got blood perpetuated in sand. Preserve blood with miraculous properties. With the passage of its bearer, new ledges are revealed, formerly invisible to the beholder's eyes. The miracle is truly unfathomable, and no one knows the origin of the blood that swirls around the wearer's feet. Take this bag and fill it with sand. Now imbue it with the blood spilling from these dreadful wounds, so it will turn crimson red. With it you will show the way through these dry lands to those who are yet to follow. Leave me now. I want to say my prayers, for I will soon be joining the dry sap of these roots that painfully embrace our Father. So definitely equip that, and we will show off what that does in just a moment. Just to double check. Back to the land where we came from. Yeah. So, up there. That would not be there if I didn't have that item. But doesn't matter, I can't get there anyway, so that will be much later we come back. But there are some things we can go ahead and do with it. I could go through this area and not respawn the enemies, but we are also saving up for that last move from the Mea Culpa Shrine. We need 1500. So there should be no way in hell that I'll die. I don't need to worry about that. And what's this? A new platform. A painted wood bead. So let's see what that does. Sphere covered in yellow varnish, the chip paint betrays its origin. Holm oak of the Forest of the Holy Line. It recovers health when destroying surrounding objects. We call this pilgrimage route the Trail. Our wagons have always passed through here, and the tracks have gotten deep enough to even unearth the chalky sand that lay hidden under the thick forest, such that if one could see it from above, it would look like long ochre line crossing the woods. So I personally enjoy giving up a little defense in order to refill my bar by destroying things that I would normally destroy anyway. So now destroying your background objects will give you more tiers as well as more health. You know what? And I still can't do it, which means that there is another thing that I'll get that probably allows me to walk normally in mud. Alright. So we have now refilled. And we're going to make our way back down to where we warped from, so we can finish off that area. Nope, still only 900. Always check your walls, just in case. Let's check our map. So, the majority of this has been cleared out. There's a room over here we didn't get, which may be locked off, but we'll check it in a second. Well, let's slide on down. Alright, and that will become a shortcut later. Pisiform of Hernandez the Explorer. Victor Hernandez was chosen to lead an expedition meant to civilize barbaric tribes. He was sentenced for heresy when he suggested that Custodia was the most uncivilized of all known places. Hey, fun little thing about that. For game designers, if you want to make an area like this, it should always be harder to get to the object than it should be to get away from it. I mention that because this one works. There's an area later that doesn't work nearly as well. And that is it for this area for now. I'm going to go check out this thing right here to see if I can actually get there. Probably not. I think I'll skip it for now. I think it is just a locked gate that gets unlocked from the other side. Go ahead and get our minute amount of health back there. So hitting those shrines, if it's not super apparent, also resets your awakening point for whenever you die. So now that I've made it all the way back down here, I don't want to respawn back up outside of Albero. So back to the desecrated cistern, and let's explore this. And sometimes it's worth it to just take a little hit like that, just to get the item out of the way. And you can, of course, parry them from slightly non-elevated areas, but it's not 100%. Like, I found some enemies that just, it doesn't work. Alright, back in the Mercy Dreams. And here's our little shortcut back to our pal here. Which is, yep, exactly where I thought that was going to lead to. I'm actually going to take this opportunity to go hit up the shrine and refill my health, since it shouldn't take me but a second. Oh, nope, I was right the first time. Alright. That's a pretty easy path back to where I was. I think there's only 2 enemies in the whole path, so... And yeah. Alright, cleared out that one. Whatever. Alright, destroyed a little bell guy. He stopped summoning the goo boys. Yep. What's up? Alright.
Ready for randos on the internet? So like how we both avoid going to the bathroom in the bedroom if one of us is sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like half awake when you got up. I was like, why did you go to the bathroom out there?
I got another empty bile vessel, which whenever I find the shrine to refill them, we'll be able to get 2 full heals. Well, not full heals, but 2 heals. I don't really remember if there's anything you get that makes your biliary flasks heal more. Alright, guy's down there, but he's protected by miasma, and we don't yet have the item that allows you to survive miasma. Alright, so this is a failed effort. Can't get to the floater up there, and I can't really do anything down here, so this room is basically useless to me right now. And let's go ahead and use it all up. Alright, what do we get here? The Humors of McMittens the Nurse. A nurse and cat lover, McMittens saved countless lives, human and others. Unable to bear saving those who showed no respect for life, he put an end to his own. Oh, so we are actually here. Now, of course, our little mini-boss over there is gone forever, which is kind of a bummer. I would have liked to have fought him again. Okay. And this would actually link us back to Albero. So we're going to finish cleaning out the cistern as much as we can without having the thing that allows us to get through miasma. Something that doesn't really come through video is the vibration keys that they've inserted into this game. Like, they make controlling the Penitent one feel really good. So whenever you get a parry, the thing will vibrate pretty harshly, which does, of course, like add a good tactile response to it. Nope, can't survive that, and it is not worth it. I'll come back at some point, cleaning up all these areas, probably off camera, to get everything. Yeah, same. So, this area is unfortunately done. This will loop back around here, this whole area right there. So, back up we go. Alright, where are we going? Full across. And we're going to go straight down. It must be around here. The bell will not stop ringing. I hear it's jingling even in my dreams. My hands are wounded from all the digging. It must be around here. Just one more wound. I hear it close by. I believe he's talking about Hondo. Yes! Found this much earlier than I found the other one. Alright. And it will trick you right here. It will ask you if you want to refill everything for $350. Don't, because you're just giving it money for nothing. Because your health is already full, you will literally just be giving away money. It is not worth it. Alright. Crap. Alright, where are we up to now? We're gonna go down one and then try to hook the left and see what I missed there.
This is like flying by because I didn't even realize until like yesterday. I was like, damn, I got paid to get on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And also not spending money. Like right now, making I'm like, how much money do I really have?
I agree. Oh, yeah. This would be the room of gas that while I may be able to do it with my full heals, it's just not worth it.
I have to make a decision. Am I going to get them today or am I going on Monday?
You act like you're not going to go both.
Well, I wasn't planning on it. I mean, I told Brady I wasn't going to go both. Unless they like absolutely need something over the weekend. But if they absolutely need something over the weekend, I'll just send you. Yeah, I just need to go. I don't think I have to go to the store more than I was just going to go visit for a little bit.
Alright, so we are going to go back up top. Not all the way to Albero. But we are going to go to Mountains of Endless Dusk. I believe that's where I left off in the last video, so... Alright, cut straight across. Rat baskets. I have plenty of heals, I just don't really want to waste them on this. And it should be Mountains of Endless Dusk. I'm actually missing a move since last time I was here. have my stinger, essentially. So I'm going to go ahead and get into proper Hondo. Alright, so we'll go ahead and hop up here to my most hated enemy type. Oh, I despawned him on accident. I'll take it. Oh, shit. Shit. Man, I am just eating shit on this fight. Which is a bummer, because last time I beat it, like, first try. But, that's fine. I don't know what I'm missing aside from my, stinger in this playthrough of the game. So I like that what it just explained was that, hey, go and, like, collect your soul. It didn't bother telling you that the first time you die. It only tells you that the second time you die. The first time you die, it just tells you, hey, by the way, dodge is a button. Alright, back to this boss, then we're going to get to Hondo proper, and I believe that is where we'll end the video. Oh no! Do I not get to fight him? Ah, damn it! Well, missed out on that. You finish fighting him and he just runs away. Sorrento here is your standard, hey, there's a way across this. If you find it, you can help me out. And this is your little test of like how this thing will work. You get hit by the shockwave. It hurts a little bit. That they're starting to go off. Got the scapula of Carlos the Executioner. His hatred for people was as great as his love for animals. When he was ordered to execute a dog that had bitten a bishop, Carlos refused for the first and last time. Much like in the cistern, these guys are triggering bad shit. Get rid of them as soon as possible. Those get put there literally to make you accidentally trigger the bells by hitting them. I don't have the traversal method to grab onto those vines yet, so can't get that treasure. Shit. Alright, I always kill that guy. Just straight up always kill that guy. And here is where we will end this video. This is where the next one will pick off, and as I said, the next one seems to be pretty good in quality. If I find that it's not, I'll just reshoot it. So I will call it here, and thanks for watching.